I cannot believe how dusty this thing gets just sitting in the garage. Look at that. That's a crazy amount of dust from just sitting. Much better. Now back in the garage where it's safe. What's up, guys? You're not going to believe this, but I'm actually driving my BMW M4 today. Now, I've been catching a lot of flack from my buddy Autovlog, Mike, and in the comments about my M4 being a garage queen and, not driving it at all. So today, I just want to clear the air and tell you guys exactly why I don't really drive this M4 that much. Now, I've wanted an M car since I saw the first M3 in 1987. So this was kind of a dream car for me. And I've done this in the past where I'll get a car that I really, really like, and I'll get a beater, and I'll kind of put that car on a pedestal, and I don't end up driving it. So, a beater, piece of crap Suzuki, but the Suzuki's cool because I have the M4. Now, if I was just driving around in the beater Suzuki, I wouldn't feel that cool, but because I know I have this car in the garage, makes me feel, a little bit better about myself. So, I bought this car, last January. So that would have been January of 2019. So I've had this car a year and 6 months, and I've only put 1,400 miles on it. So when I bought the car, I had some plans for it. I wanted to do modifications so I could film that, show you guys the progress on the car, and install performance parts and show you the performance increases that I have achieved, and do a whole kind of a build on the car and document it on my YouTube channel. So I started out with the window tint, which is fairly cheap, made it look a lot cooler. Then I did the AFE Magnum 4 Stage 2 intake. I was actually the first person to have that intake because it was a new product for the M4, which a lot of people are making new products for the M4 because it's about the end of its life for this particular body style. So I was excited about that. I was the first one to have that intake. Then I went with the Dean and Deantronic Stage 2 tuner module, which bumped the horsepower up nicely. And then we did the AFE catback exhaust with the carbon tips, which I love. I think it sounds awesome. The carbon tips looks awesome, and so on. So I love all the mods I did. My goal was to get the car to 500 wheel horsepower, and I've achieved that. So my next plan was to do some wheels and tires and maybe mess with the suspension a little bit. But I guess fortunately, this car comes with some very lightweight forged wheels from the factory. They're 19-inch, but the rears are 10.5 inches wide, and the wheels only weigh 21 pounds. So if you've ever dabbled in the lightweight wheel market, you know that a pound per inch is pretty good. So these are a little bit over, a pound per inch at 19-inch wheels, 21 pounds. So to get anything comparable, I don't want to get heavier wheels because I don't want to increase the rotating mass. That would actually slow the car down. I'd like to keep with this weight or even lighter. So when I started looking for something comparable or lighter, the prices are really, really high. So I kind of put a damper on getting wheels right off the bat. And even the exhaust, although I do get a special price through AFE, and their products are already reasonably priced, I had to finance that exhaust through a firm, which is an awesome service if you guys haven't tried it. Basically, you can finance pretty much anything you could buy on the internet, and it's 0% interest for 6 months. So if you pay it off in 6 months, no interest. It's basically like free money. So that's what I did. I ended up paying it off within the first 6 months. No interest. Got the exhaust, made it much more affordable, and so that's how we did that. So the wheels, I started looking, and I'd really like to have the BBS. I think they're the FRI, maybe, but they're like 3,000 bucks just for the wheels, and then the tires to get something comparable to the Michelin Pilot Sports I have on here would be another another $1,000 or so. So I'd be looking at $400 for the wheels and tires that I want, and they're way more expensive wheels than that, but those are the ones that are comparable in weight to these. So that kind of put a damper on that. So I haven't bought any wheels or even tires, and my tires are about the end of their life cycle. They still have maybe 30 seconds of tread on them, but they've been heat cycled a few times, and I actually took it to the road course, beat them up a little bit, and they lost some grip since then. So here's that exhaust. I mean, I think it sounds awesome. Some people comment it sounds like a lawnmower and whatnot. Here, I'll put the window down. I think it sounds sweet, especially when you let off the gas, it gets that backfire. And you can hear a little bit of the turbo spool with the intake. So I love all that. I love this car. I love everything about it. So back to the wheels. I've been looking on the used market because this car is 5 years old. You know, I don't necessarily have to put brand new wheels on it. I'm cool with used stuff. And I still haven't really been able to find anything that, you know, I wanted to pull the trigger on. So kind of put that to the wayside unless, like I said, I find some crazy deal. But to find a crazy deal on some lightweight wheels is a stretch. So another reason I haven't really been driving the car is at the dealership where I work, I service all the used vehicles. And in an effort to get a better look at these cars when they come in before we sell them, I drive them back and forth to work to, you know, make sure there's no bugs that we're not missing. So 5 days a week, I drive a car back and forth to work. So the car just sits in the garage because I don't need to drive it. Another reason is I have two small kids. You can see I got the car seat in the back today, but we have a minivan. So instead of stuffing the kids in the back, you know, scuffing up the seats, getting food back there, we just beat up my wife's minivan and she's fine with that. And also the car, you know, it's got 44,000 miles on it. So I believe around 50,000, you know, the depreciation is going to drop again, which I'm worried about. My car payment is a little over $600, so it's pretty high. So I can't really afford to be, you know, upside down on the car. I owe, I think, $31,000 on it now, which I'm still in the good, but I don't want to get, you know, too close to being upside down because when I get rid of it, I'd like to have some equity in the car. So that kind of scares me a little bit. Another reason is, you know, I bought this car for 40 grand, but it's still an $80,000 car, so it costs, you know, $80,000 car maintenance. I did luck out though, because when I bought the car, it was still under bumper to bumper, and after I did the track day at Pit Race, the front brakes were pulsating, and I was able to get those covered under the bumper to bumper warranty, which I think BMW's one of the few companies that will honor a warranty on brakes that late in the game. So I got the front pads and rotors replaced, which I think would have cost me like $1,700 out of pocket. Now, mind you, I could have done the work myself, but it still would have been a pretty big chunk of change for the pads and the rotors. So if something catastrophic were to happen with this car, which I don't think it will, but you never know, I could probably fix most of it, but the parts are still going to be a great deal of money, and it's going to cost me time. So I'm nervous about breaking the car. So those are pretty much the reasons why the car doesn't get much action. I put it on a pedestal because I got a beater. I drive a car back and forth to work every day, so I don't need to drive it throughout the week. I'm afraid of the depreciation, and I'm afraid of it breaking. So I know these are stupid reasons. I'm a technician. I can fix the dumb car, you know, but I've never been upside down on a car in my life, and I've owned 50 cars. You know, most of the time I get into the car right, I drive it for a year, I get out of it for more or the same as what I paid for it. But I've been buying more expensive cars lately, and obviously they depreciate faster. So I got into this car for the right price, and I think, you know, I could get out of it right now. As a matter of fact, I put it for sale yesterday just to see, you know, if I would get any hits on it for the price. So I listed it for $38,500 with all the performance parts on it, which a lot of people commented that, you know, that's a great price for that car. It's a smoking deal. Someone even commented that I'm messing up the resale value by selling it that cheap. But I did some market research, and that's pretty much what the cars are going for. But I don't really want to sell the car. I love the car. I enjoy the car. I just don't enjoy it that much. I'm paying $600 a month for it to sit in the garage. I haven't been making much content on it because I haven't really done anything fancy to the car. I do want to go back to the drag strip with it and redeem myself, because I did go to the drag strip once and it didn't go as planned. I was hoping this car would be, you know, it is an 11-second car with the right driver, but I hadn't been to the drag strip for a long time. So I think a 13.1 is what I ran by the end of the night, but I was just having problems launching. But like I said, I'm still afraid to break the car. Not saying it's going to. It's a pretty stout, reliable car, but things can happen, especially when you're, you know, pushing the car to its limit. So those are all the reasons why this car has been sitting in the garage, paying $600 a month. I've been going back and forth. Do I want to do that and not enjoy the vehicle and worry about the depreciation? So if I could get the right money for the car, I think I would let it go, and I would probably get a Mustang. You know, just because I do work at the Ford dealer and I know how to fix them, I get the parts cheap. The performance will be comparable, but the car itself is not that comparable. The build quality, the quality of the interior on this car far surpasses the Mustang. So that's pretty much where we're at. I mean, if you guys have any input on this, I'd love to hear from you. If there's some less expensive mods you'd like me to see me do to the car, I'd be all for that. Or if you want to see, you know, the car on the racetrack, I thought about taking it to the autocross to see what it would do. I still have not done the first oil change on the car, so I'm going to make a video of that coming up this week, and, you know, do like kind of a whole review of the car, because I've never actually done that. I've talked about how much I paid for it, how much the options cost. We did the install videos, but I've never done an actual review of this car, which I love so much. So those are some things that are going to come in the future. I know I haven't been posting much, but hopefully that's going to change soon. You know, I've been busy with the family and work and things like that, doing mods on other people's cars, which I've been filming. So hopefully we'll get the channel back on track, get some more videos out there. But again, I love this car. I waited to have this car ever since I learned how to start driving. So it's not the car, it's me. It's not you, it's me. So that's pretty much it for today's video. I just kind of wanted to give you guys an update of what was going on with the M4. I know you guys haven't seen it for a while. It's a great car. So thanks for checking out my channel. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Be sure to hit that like button. And like I said, drop some comments on, you know, what you think about the M4, about the mods I've already done, mods you'd like to see, or if there's something on the car you want to learn about that I can make a video of. So make sure you check out my Facebook page. Be sure to follow me on Instagram. If you're looking for some Pittsburgh Views merchandise, check out teespring.com. Have a great day.